Oh. All right. So if you are joining us, once again, I am at the controls, so the missus will be at the keyboard answering things, and I won't even be able to see them in real life, well, real time. And if you are just joining us, you can skip ahead about 4 minutes to our show. I think Mark will be with us tonight, the missus. I haven't seen anything that says he won't be, so. You gotta say things. It's audio.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Have you got? Do you have the show up on YouTube?
I do.
Okay. We have anybody there? It says that you're there.
Yeah, nobody yet.
Okay.
Oh, Tadano's here.
Oh,
Says tonight's debate has been disturbing.
tonight's.
Codex is here. Hi, Codex.
Hello. And once again, yeah, and I miss doing the typing, but I can't do the typing and do this.
I know, it's
So
too much.
it's too much. It's too much. Too much pizza. Too much tuna. All right. I've got that ready. That's probably the logical place for that. I don't even need to see that other screen right now, do I? The YouTube screen. You're going to hate it because I haven't signed out of YouTube. So your YouTube is on my computer. So now all of a sudden things like Steely Dan are going to start showing up. Steely Dan and
Well, just
80s hair
log
metal.
out. That way you don't mess up my music queue.
Oh,
I
what?
was gonna look for some stupid song,
Mm-hmm.
like it was a New Kids on the Block song, and
Oh,
I was
gee.
gonna look for that this morning.
Huh?
And I was like, but I don't want to do that on YouTube because it will mess up my music queue, and then I'll have all this crappy boy band stuff
Mm-hmm.
from the '90s in my music queue, and I don't want that.
Oh, you just wait.
Uh 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 oh. Oh no! Now we're gonna get copyright dinged from YouTube.
No, he didn't sound nearly enough like that. What's in the middle? The right stuff.
Jim's here.
Hey, Jim. The missus can't play Massive Cannibalism for you because she's on strike. She's not going to do
Yeah,
this
that's
anymore.
it.
It's me running the board. Hey, wait,
Yeah.
that
Well,
means
and the problem for this is that my computer is very unreliable and it could just lock up at any time.
at any time.
Yeah, and it's very likely that it will because it's been running pretty well for about 2 hours now. So
So
yeah.
if she
If I
disappears,
disappear suddenly, that's why.
we will trudge on without her until she gets back. Says Mark shown up yet?
Well, normally he says something when he shows up, so I don't. He's not here yet. That was a deep, meaningful sigh down there, dog. What troubles you, my unemployed little freeloader?
All dog's birthday, tax day.
That's right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wonder what.
Jim says that's cool. If I hear it every time, I'll get spoiled. Well, you know, Jim, I made a T-shirt on our link to our store on Cafe Press that says Massive Cannibalism. I'll have to check to make sure it's there, but I did make one specifically for you.
Yes. Is there a cup and a shirt that you could get?
I think it's just a shirt right now, but I
Uh-oh.
could certainly
It's time.
make it other things.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome everyone to probably the quietest opening we had because I'm running the board. I can turn it up really loud now because that'll be good. Welcome to the 110th live edition of
That was actually better when you turned it up.
Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room, and it is the control room. I can mute anything. Of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With us, as always, is Mark.
Is Mark here?
Or maybe not. And the missus.
Hello.
How are things in the deep bunker?
A little chillier tonight.
Well, it is supposed to get cold
It
tonight,
is supposed
so-
to be kind of cold.
Yep, and that's what we can hope for. So We are not running with the structured front, 3 or 4 front stories. But you said you had a thing that you wanted to do that would require audience participation. So, Lo, go ahead.
Oh, hang on. I got to answer.
You got to answer?
Codex. Codex and I
Oh.
are having a little private conversation here.
Well, a private conversation that just doesn't involve me.
That's right. You're the only one who's not privy to this.
Everybody else is playing the game, so I don't get a copy of our home game. Okay. I see how you guys are.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. See, I didn't think we were going to do this first. Okay, but that's fine. I can do that.
We can do it later.
This is the funny story. So this is from it's from the Mirror. So this is from the UK. A mom was left mortified when she realized that her son's name meant something completely different in English than it did in her own language.
Was her son's name Mangina?
It's pretty close.
Uh-oh.
So I'm guessing she's Russian or something, or Ukrainian or something like that, because the original name is in Cyrillic,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a different emphasis. The emphasis is on the different syllable
Yes.
that it is in English. So in her language, it is pronounced Semen.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
But it is spelled SEMEN.
Yep.
Yes. So my question is for the Bombs and Bands audience, what other name? Because she wants to change her son's name so it's better in English. She doesn't like Simon or Simeon, or what else did she think about? Sam. Didn't like any of those. So what other names could we give this poor unfortunate mom for her unfortunately named son?
I'm going to throw one out. No one asked me. Ficus. Fecus. Ficus. You don't like that? I guess maybe
a noose.
Yes, a noose.
ANUS.
Biden.
See, I was just going to go a little different with that. I was going to. Jim just goes for it. He says nickname Jizz. I was going to say she could call him Splooge.
Man butter.
Baby batter.
Oh boy.
Goosh would be a good one.
We've just started. We've started downhill, and we're picking up steam. I guess
normally we don't get to this part of the podcast until way later.
I had an ounce of beer. This is not where we should be with an ounce of beer.
Well, I told you, but this is where you wanted to start off with.
Okay.
So here we are.
So that all of the things that you had prepared?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Well, I think this is probably a fine time to share your brand new commercial that you put together, because this is November, and that's right between October and November. And so it's also time for pumpkin
It is
spice.
time that we all enjoy, yes, a holiday beverage.
So here it is.
Oh, isn't this such a great time of year to be outdoors, sitting on the back deck, just enjoying the beautiful night sky and the cool fall weather?
Oh, sure it is. What a gorgeous evening. And thank you for the delicious black coffee. It's just the right amount of warm on a brisk evening.
And listen, you can hear the birds flying south for the winter. And listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like they're saying something.
Oh, yeah. They're getting kind of close, don't you think? Oh,
What are
God!
they doing? Oh,
My eyes!
oh no! No! No!
Ah! Ah!
Pumpkin spice. You'll love it. Or else. Well, that took a dark turn.
Brought to you by Slap Cop. I'm surprised you didn't have Slap Cop Industries bringing us that. So tonight, again, since the Mrs. Computer is ailing her, and I'm being control board boy wonder. What we have here is we have maybe some conversation street, but we certainly have some think real fast. But we will moderate its relative fastness. Is Mark here?
I have not heard Mark. No.
We've seen no Mark. Okay. Well,
I hope he has not been kidnapped by aliens.
again.
Oh, he lives in the Pacific Northwest. It might be Sasquatch at this point.
It might be the Bigfoot, you know. So back to that commercial. The missus gave it to me to read, and so I said, this feels like something that could happen up, perhaps in Wisconsin. So that was the voice. It'd be entirely different if we took it up to New England. It'd be entirely different.
See, that's what you should have gone with. You
Should have gone with New England instead
I think
of.
so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't you know?
All right. Well, I know they have apples.
Or Canadian, eh? I could have worn your toque.
Okay. All right. Well, going into Think Real Fast without the sound.
Did I
before.
not send you that? See, you should
You
have
never
told
sent
me.
me that. After
You could tell me when you don't have things.
Hmm.
I would give them to you.
That's
They're
okay.
right here on my hard drive.
After 2026, cars can be bricks if the government hits the switch. Your car will be in a ditch.
I'm sorry. It was again Codex is just killing me here on the chat. Tiny little forest people armed with blow darts firing pumpkin spice.
Oh, pygmy spice. All right. So after 2026, mandated kill switches will be installed in new cars so the government can remotely shut your car down for any reason or no reason. A Republican bill in the House that would have stopped this failed. Mark? No, Mark. So the missus, there's no way that this could have unintended consequences, is there?
Oh God, no. I mean, there's no reason for us not to trust the government to do this. When have they ever shown that they might overstep their boundaries and start completely infringing on our civil rights
Well, not in
for our own good?
Yeah, well, they would never do that in places
No,
like Texas,
no.
for instance, or Waco, or
Or any of the 50 states 3 years ago?
yeah, huh? Don't
Never
you know?
would happen.
Well, the second question I had for you, the missus, is why didn't Big
All the
Brother?
questions are for me. I'm the only one here.
Yes, and so you get two of them each time. It's a double barrel.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
a double barrel
the
shotgun
pressure.
of Think Real
Twice the
Fast.
pressure.
Yes, the missus. Why didn't Big Brother think of this earlier?
Because he was pounding little brother and pummeling him into the floor and I'm not hitting you.
That's not a very good answer. I'm sorry, you get above.
I'm just rubbing your face in the snow.
All right. Switching topics.
See, and if I had my soundboard that you could hear, I would have gone, shut up.
Yeah. Too late.
Why you bully me? Now I got to do the sounds all by myself now.
In Nashville, after the shootings, a trans individual left a they-them-ifesto. You can't really call it a manifesto or else we get banned or something. After
Probably,
several pages of the Z-Zimifesto went viral, places like Facegram and Instabook are censoring them off the web. And I think that they're certainly allowed on Twitter and certainly on some other places that I go on the internet. The city of Nashville is looking to fire and maybe prosecute people who leaked the information. So,
But I thought that when people leaked information about what the government was doing, they were heroes of democracy and whistleblowers.
only ones the information they want. But
Okay.
but the question I had for Mark, and you can answer it too. Do you think this is to protect the dead shooters'
Honey.
rights?
Honey,
Mhm.
Mark is not here.
Okay.
You just have to deal with me.
I have a vision that maybe he is. I
Let
hear
it
voice.
go.
Okay.
Let it go.
Okay. So do you think it's to protect the dead shooters' rights that they don't want the transifesto, they-them-ifesto?
I don't know what it is they're trying to protect here.
You've
All I know is that this was a very seriously mentally ill young person. And, that was terribly alarming, of course, because kill people, right?
Mhm.
But I'm worried that we have a huge mental health issue with young people. I heard something the other day that of women under 30, 3 out of 4 of them say they have been diagnosed with depression or anxiety.
Shocking.
I might have mentioned this last week. I haven't had a lot of sleep this week.
You did mention it last week.
Yeah.
So then there's the important question about this. Did you read the things that were on that?
That we're on what?
The Transifesto?
No, I have not. I can't. I've been busy doing my real job this
Well,
week.
then how
so-
can I ask you
yeah.
the important question about this? What did you think of its penmanship? Because, you know, if
I
you're
thought,
going to...
was it not typewritten? I find that disappointing.
No, it was all written, and there was...
It should have been written with a type. Ooh, even better. It should have. And I know making fun of a mass murderer here, but
Yeah,
it should have been.
please
They
do.
should have. They should have had the stick-to-itiveness to cut the letters out of magazines and glue them to the paper. And I
Yeah,
realize this is like a 10-page thing, but if they'd still be busy doing that instead of having killed all those people.
well, they did put a post-it note for when they thought lunch was. So, you know...
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
important.
so they thought about it. Okay, in South Korea, a robot misidentified a man as a box and crushed him to death. The missus, do you think that missing box threw the factory off its quota? Why do they not talk about the important questions?
I know that's the important question. Was the robot okay?
Was the robot okay? Is he okay? Do you think he's going to be okay?
Get him
But-
some therapy for that.
well, that falls right into the second question. Do you think that maybe he really was a box and he was just unaware that he was a human? And maybe he secretly liked being crushed?
No, you know what I think happened? I think that robot watched. Do you remember we did this like a year or so ago, where the special forces, their job was to sneak up on the robot, and it was like
Yes.
people sensing, and they fooled it by doing things like doing cartwheels and stuff.
And hiding under a box, and the box
Yes.
walked towards him. Yes.
So the AI showed this to the robot, and the robot did this for revenge.
Ah, yes, South Korea.
See, I just worry about all the things we're teaching the AI. So I have this friend who spends his day at work making funny pictures via AI of Todd Starnes. You know, you're familiar with who Todd Starnes is, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Right. So today we had Todd Starnes preaching in a church to a congregation made up entirely of Todd Starnes.
Mm-hmm.
We've also have a picture of Todd Starnes riding a
So
llama
it
to
was a
Canada.
Starnes-a-palooza.
Yes, it was. Yes. And so I just worry that all of these things that he's teaching AI about Todd Starnes is that when AI finally develops sentience and decides to attack the human race, number one target's going to be Todd Starnes.
No,
I worry about
he
that.
will be their messiah.
Well, let's hope so.
This is Todd
Let's hope so.
Starnes.
Oh, and the really the funny thing about it is that sometimes it confuses Todd Starnes with the My Pillow guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sometimes it's Todd Starnes' body with the My Pillow guy's head, which is pretty funny. The best one was Todd Starnes being bullied by a bunch of middle schoolers.
All right. Time to move along.
Apparently, it's only he and I that this makes laugh.
Yes.
So yeah.
Your car loan might be larger, but it won't be for a Charger because they stopped making them because they're so expensive. The missus, what would Bo and Luke Duke have done if they'd had a kill switch? How would they have ever gotten away from the sheriff?
It'd have been a very short series.
Them old Duke boys, they sure didn't reckon on having a kill switch in
What's
their
going
Charger.
on, Bo? I don't know, Luke. Slam! Orange jumpsuits.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least it would match the car.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you think this is some great topical humor because everybody's just thinking about those Duke
The Dukes
boys?
of Hazzards all the time. Yeah. Well, I don't think you can even watch that show anywhere anymore. I think it's been canceled. It's
Yes,
gone down the memory hole
it
because
has.
the General Lee.
It has hate images on it. So
Although John Steiner still has one of the General Lees. It's on display in front of his house.
very cool.
Yeah.
If you're riding with Biden, soon there won't be any hiding, as the House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed Hunter Biden and James Biden. The missus, do you think it's finally Jover? It's like,
Oh, nothing's gonna come of this. Nothing.
well,
They're Democrats.
well,
They
this is-
can't break laws.
well,
There
see-
are no laws they can break.
This proves again that I'm psychic because here was the question I had for you. The missus, do you think the Republicans will say lots of sassy things, and yet nothing will ever
and do
happen?
nothing? Yes, that's exactly what will happen. They don't
So
have the guts
sassy.
to impeach the guy who clearly has done impeachable things. When you know, what is it with Republicans that they can't get their shit together?
Language.
I'm serious about that. The Democrats get in control and they have got all their ducks in a row and they do all the things, all the terrible, horrible things that they promise us they're going to do on the campaign trail. The Republicans get into power and they just fight amongst themselves
Yes.
about who is the prettier girl here at the dance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's a chunk of them. And we talked about one of the local candidates who you described as a rhino, because she was really a Democrat but was running as a Republican.
Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Because there's no Democrat that's going to get elected around here. I mean,
No.
All right. Oh, where are we? Oh, we're in
But
Japan.
they have their little code words. They know what to say. And so the people that are Democrats around here go, oh, yes, one of us. I will vote for you.
So, do we
Yeah.
want to go to Japan, or do you want to do the brain jackass of the week?
Jim Wetzel says Republicans are useless as a tease on a boy hog.
So do you want to do right now? We can take a quick break from our current festivities on Think Real Fast and move into our brain jackass of the week, if you'd like.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
This is Neil Young,
You gotta turn that up.
Get that jackass out of here!
and I'm proud to present my brain jackass of the week.
You can turn the music down.
How long does it go? I've always wondered.
Like a minute and a half, I think.
This is a minute and a half of this? That's
Uh-huh.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, because I had initially planned for it to be a talk bed, but then we went longer than that, and it cuts off. And
But
you're kind of on a time thing when you have a music
But
bed
it-
because it runs out and then it sounds weird.
it has all of these flourishes. Okay, I'll turn it
It
off.
does. It's beautiful, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Very majestic. I think I'll want that as when I'm emperor. I'll want that as my
That's your
morning get out
walking
of.
music.
Well,
Yeah.
well, if I were emperor, I wouldn't be getting out of bed in the morning. So, well, all right, you're gonna have to walk us into this. 'Cause
All right,
I got.
I will.
nothing.
I've got the whole thing. So our first candidate for Jackass of the Week is artificial intelligence, which probably means that instead of Todd Starnes, it will go after me when it gains sentience. So, you know how you get the news feed in your browser when you open up your phone and it has all of your links, but then all these just extraneous stories just show up and you can scroll through it forever? One of these showed up, and it's been showing up from this site called feednews.com, right? Which sounds kind of sketchy to begin with. And I've thought for a long time that these are all stories written by AI. And this one this week has convinced me. The headline on this story is White House rebukes Fox News, controversy erupts over host's attacks on CNN anchors. Okay, Wilder, you have to be my official ding-a-ling bell because I don't have my sound effect working.
Okay.
So every time you hear something that is completely false,
Mhm.
give me a ding.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready? News networks, the White House has, and that's how it's written. News networks, the White House has issued a strong denouncement of Fox News over remarks made by one of its hosts concerning a prominent CNN anchor duo. The New York Times reported on Saturday, November 4th, 2023, that the incident has sparked a fresh debate on the role of media in shaping public opinion and maintaining decorum in political discourse. Now we're getting into the meat of it. The controversy centers on an on-air comment made by Fox News host Tucker Carlson during his primetime show for November 2nd, 2023. You gonna ding that one?
I did. Did you not hear it?
I did not hear it. Okay. Carlson, known for his provocative commentary, made what many consider to be a highly offensive statement regarding two prominent CNN journalists, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. And I didn't check that, but I probably should have to make sure that they actually work for CNN. It's possible they didn't. That might be the only real thing in this story. The incident occurred as Carlson discussed a recent CNN report that had been critical of the White House's economic policies. In a fiery tirade, Carlson lashed out at Tapper and Bash, labeling them as biased propagandists who were destroying the fabric of responsible journalism. Ding that one too. No, and nothing to indicate that Carlson ever has said anything about Jake Tapper and Dana Bash like that. That one is also incorrect. The remarks immediately drew widespread condemnation from various quarters. CNN president Jeff Zucker, you gotta ding that one too.
Did you not hear that?
No,
You
there
can't
go.
hear that.
Issued a statement expressing his outrage and called for a public apology from Fox News. The controversy didn't stop at the network level. The White House itself took a remarkable step by releasing an official statement in which Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, you got to ding that.
I did.
You're
Here.
you're doing. I'm gonna have to do this
can't hear that?
myself, aren't I? I hear it when I yell at you about it.
No, you hear it when you stop talking. Everybody else can hear it.
Oh my God. So anyway, that's the article, of which none of it is true. But if you're not a political junkie and you don't follow this stuff and you just read this on a whim, you think it's true.
Right. Well, and again, it's a part of a propaganda war, and we looked it up, and that particular news site is headquartered in China. It's run out of China.
Yeah.
And it's propaganda meant to, I don't know exactly what it's meant to, but
It's meant to foment the political divisiveness that is already in this country.
and it'll stick in
Meant to make it
somebody's
worse.
head, and who's low information or very credulous. I mean, come on. Well, let's say, how many of those 40 decapitated people in Israel were real? Like none. We know that that's already the case.
See, and I don't even know. It's stuff like this that makes me doubt anything that comes out of the event.
Exactly.
I don't know what's true and what's not.
So that's number one.
Yeah, so that's number one. Number two is a repeat offender here on Jackass of the Week. He won a couple of weeks ago. It's Representative Jamal Bowen, Democrat from New York. He won a couple of weeks ago because he was the guy, in order to disrupt an official act of Congress, pulled a fire alarm. Got a slap on the wrist. If he had been a Republican, he'd be in Gitmo. That's neither here nor there. This says Representative Jamal Bowman gave a barn burner of a speech on Tuesday, and I do have audio on this, and here he is. Maybe. This is not working. There we go.
This body needs empathy and compassion for all people, not just people that look like the majority of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And maybe because of your lack of diversity, you lack the cognitive and emotional ability to recognize diverse opinions when they speak truth to power. And you absolutely need to open up your mind to other people and other experiences, especially when they are Muslim and when they are women and when they are people of color. You had a member of your party call my colleague a terrorist, and you didn't censor her. But we're having this conversation now about your interpretation of words.
Members are reminded to direct their comments to the chair.
Open up your mind.
So that's it.
What a tool. What a tool.
Well, I had another term, but
Yeah.
you get mad at me when I use that.
Yes, you better stop. So why don't you turn it over to our faithful listeners and see what their thoughts are. I know what mine is.
Jim's voting for Bowman.
Jim's not alone. I guarantee you,
Yeah.
Jim's not alone.
Yep, number two.
Consensus?
That's Tim chiming in.
All right. Well,
He might be chumming in too. That would fit right in with the show tonight.
Yep. So, well, I think on a consensus note, he is our winner. So, ding.
Kodak says he's got the braying down pat.
No
A clear rival to Kamala's laugh.
All right.
And that's pretty rich too. You got to play the outro.
I listen
And this has been Neil Young's Braying Jackass of the Week.
So is that actually your burp?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very ladylike. My mother would be so proud.
Yes. All right. Well, carry on. So you were in the middle of something.
Oh, yeah. Well, this from the party who has spent, the past five years now, calling Republicans Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't recall any Republican legislator ever standing up there on the floor of the U.S. Senate and saying, the Nazis, they weren't so bad. Did a lot of good things. Kept the trains running on time. That was Mussolini, but, you get the picture.
Well, speaking of pictures, Japan wants to please by making more Japanese. Japan is planning on providing public
I
assistance.
gotta pause just for a minute because Jim Wetzel says, "When's Neil Young himself going to be a candidate?" He was the original
He
candidate.
was the original winner.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and I believe what it was
We
is
played
that
a clip
it
of his
was
song.
it was no. What happened is that Spotify gave Joe Rogan that huge deal, right?
Mhm. That was
And
it.
so all the lefties got really mad, and one of their songs pulled off Spotify, and Neil Young was the braying jackass leading that revolt.
Mhm. And
To
because
which many people responded, "Neil Young's still alive?"
Yeah.
Okay.
and so what happened then is the missus played a tidbit of one of his songs where he's talking about freedom, but doesn't really mean freedom for you or I, just freedom for him. And that was our first copyright strike. So that's why we and that's why the missus also does the impersonation of Neil Young, who isn't from the South. He's a Canadian.
No, he's Canadian.
Don't you know? So, all right. Can I get on with my think real fast?
I don't know. Can you? God, why don't we just get on with it?
Japan wants to please by making more Japanese. Japan is planning on providing public assistance of up to $10,000 to virgin men so they can encourage dating and marriage and increase the birth rate. Do you think that the missus? Do you think they'll just buy anime and Japanese robot girls instead?
Yes. I'm sorry I didn't hear the question. I was doing something else because I forgot that Mark was not here.
So bored. I was just so bored when you talk.
No, I was looking at because I know that we had a commercial that featured Neil Young, and I was looking.
Okay, wait, we're off
but
Neil
we
Young.
can Play it next week.
Off. Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just answering the question. Why you bully me?
The missus, what would Chatan say?
Oh, I do have Neil Young Spotify. Okay, we'll run that next week.
What would Chatan
What
say?
would Shaitan say? Shaitan would say nothing and take his tiny baseball bat and beat you with it
Well, speaking of beating,
until it knocked his hat off.
the pandas at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. have been recalled to China. Are the missus, are these the only living beings from China that want to go back?
I'm not sure they want to go back, but it might be the only folks here that were willing to deport them and revoke their green card or whatever it is.
Well, do you think that the pandas are being recalled so that they can be on the menu?
No, I think it's just the racist actions of the U.S. government.
Come on, there's nothing better than panda roasted over moon rock.
Little white sauce, delicious.
There you go. The debt cost is up, billion schmillion. Interest payments this year. The United States government is paying interest payments this year of over $1 trillion, more than doubling the amounts paid under Trump. The missus, is debt like Jeff Epstein considered age just a number?
Depends on who you are. If you're a taxpayer and you owe the money to the government, no, that's very real. If you're the U.S. government, who cares? Just print more money.
Is this an example of Biden building back better?
Yes, it is. It's working.
All right.
Well, it's working. What was your plan to begin with?
Well, here's the plan.
To drive us all into poverty.
World War III is back on the table since the U.S. is bombing Syria as much as we're able. The missus, do you think that we hit all the bombs that we're dropping on Syria in John Bolton's mustache?
So they'd probably fit.
What's that?
He does have very impressive facial hair.
Yeah.
It does rival Jamie Heinemann's.
Well, could it
the
be
Mythbusters guy?
Could it be that we're using these are some sort of new peaceful bomb?
That is a peace bomb. No, only the terrorists use those.
Okay. You might have once called them.
I'm sorry, militants.
Okay.
Freedom fighters.
Well, speaking of fighters, you might have once called them doll, but now they've answered the call. Ukraine has mobilized women, children, senior citizens, and everyone over the age of 2 to go to the front, including, and I'm not making this up, a new combat intern program where they throw completely untrained conscripts on the front line with hardened troops, as an intern. The missus, is this what winning looks like?
Worst unpaid internship ever.
So here's my question that I had originally for you is the missus, do you think Zelensky got any candy trick-or-treating around Europe? We know he likes to beg.
And he likes candy.
And the thing is, he still fits in, yeah, he still fits in children's-sized costumes, too.
That's true. That's true.
You get your own pocket Zelensky.
He'll steal Ron DeSantis's boots.
So this is also related, and this is very Eastern European tier. Zelensky and his top general aren't speaking because, to The Economist, the general was leaking. Okay, it wasn't a leak. He wrote an entire story to The Economy. And here's what he said in the story. He said, "We, Ukraine, have lost unless you give us," and I quote, this is exactly what he asked for, "robotic plasma tunneling demining machines." So he wants robots that will use plasma energy to tunnel under the fields of Ukraine in order to destroy the mines.
Why don't we just give him the clearly attack-trained box stacking robot?
Well, he also wanted a bunch of other things that really don't exist, just like his plasma tunneling, his robot type of plasma tunneling machines.
Been watching too many movies on Netflix written by what's that guy's name? Matthew.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I blanked on it.
Yeah, but it'll come back.
Boom! Crash! Scarecrow.
Yep.
That guy.
Yeah.
Matthew Riley.
Matthew Riley.
Yes.
Yep. Matthew Riley. He's an Australian writer who writes just the worst fiction ever.
Oh, but they're fun. Oh God, they're so much fun. They're terrible, but they're fun.
Yep. But the thing is, then after the general wrote that stuff in The Economist, the general's top aide died in a freak grenade accident in his own home. Which sounds again like Eastern Europe, right? You'll answer the wrong question. Here's a grenade for you.
Did he accidentally blow himself up with a grenade after shooting himself in the back of the head?
Mm-hmm. So
times?
Here's the question. Doesn't a robotic plasma tunneling demining machine sound really cool?
I would like to have one of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my question originally for you was, the missus, is this how we get Skynet?
Whatever I say, it's just going to come after me. So I'm just going to say, no, Todd Starnes would put him up to it.
Yep. Hillary doesn't like voting unless it's the left that's winning. She was noting that a certain Austrian painter was duly elected. Literally, she said that. The missus, is she making the case that everyone else but her is literally Hitler?
I don't know what her point is with that.
You heard of that quote, right?
I had not heard that particular
It was
one,
today.
no.
Well, it was reported today. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then my follow-up question that was originally for you, the missus, do you think Hillary does watercolors?
Finger painting, maybe. No, I'm sorry. That's Kamala.
Yeah. I made this pie. It's mud. Yes. How did you get mud?
It doesn't taste very good.
Oh, was that you or did you get her?
That was me.
Oh God, you did a perfect
impression.
Did you
like that?
Oh gosh.
Thank you.
That's scary that you can make that noise.
I'm a professional. Thank you.
The new technique to deal with an electric car fire is to, and I quote, here's the plan. You ready?
Okay.
Let it burn.
Throw small children at it?
No, just let it burn.
Okay.
So the missus, is this
But what if it's in your garage?
Let it burn. The missus, is this because that's how leftists deal with every problem they have?
No, they generally just pour gasoline on it. Oh my God, it's on fire. What do we do? Here, throw this on it. But it's only a cup. We need more water than that. It's not water, it's gasoline.
Yeah. So then the other question I had, does this way to treat an electric car shock you?
But
yeah. So, not trusting the rains down in Africa, a YouTuber named Mr. Beast drilled enough wells and installed enough pumps to give water to 500,000 people in Kenya. Are people happy? No. They said that Mr. Beast embarrassed the Kenyan government and also won't promise to come back and make sure the wells are working in 3 years. The missus, why does Mr. Beast hate Kenyans?
Because he's clearly a racist. I mean, that would be the only reason you would do something like that, right?
To try and make their lives better. He even built a bridge while he was down there.
It's just exactly what a raging racist would do.
Yes.
I cannot believe he treated those people that way. Yep. Something should be done.
Are these wells a deep
Maybe they'll arrest him.
Are these wells a deep subject?
With
All right. Let's see what we got next. Oh, wait. We even have a sounder for the next part.
Yeah.
And now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalks
I
of
sent it to you.
Conversation Street.
I just said you didn't open all the emails. Yeah.
That's okay. I will do it right now.
See again? Harder than it looks, isn't it?
It is. It is. You just make it look so.
And now it's time for us to take a stroll
Well,
down the
apparently
smooth
I don't have that
sidewalks
sound
of
down.
Conversation Street.
Apparently I did it wrong. Yeah, it's it. Oh, it's the top one. Yes, I know. Yes. Do we still have desktop audio? No. I turned that off too. So we just
Put it back to monitor off. There you go.
okay. So now I'm back. All right. Let's see if that worked.
It will work. No, you have to hit the eye again.
And now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
Excellent. Well done. It just makes me happy
That
to
was
hear that.
painful. Painful to get to that.
Wasn't it?
Whew.
It's almost like this is just the second time I've done this. All right. Let's see. Oh yes, down in Panama, ecological activists were blocking a road, and a man had enough of climate change, and so he just pulled out a pistol and started shooting them. So, what are your thoughts on that one? Take your
And
time.
wants to know if he can be Jeremy Hammond.
Indeed. Hamster.
And if I had the sounder, I would play the one that goes, the one that goes, Hammond! Or,
So what do you?
it's shit, clearly.
So what do you think?
Genius.
Is it a real danger for ecological activists to, shut down roads?
Well, when they stand in the middle of them, I mean, now in my defense, I didn't hear anything that you said because I was looking through my emails. So I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But,
Well,
I
that's
gotta
normal.
say that it really, this person, it was a terrible mistake that they made. They were not thinking, they should have been thinking. And, that's what you play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Well,
Did I cover it?
I guess maybe. I mean,
Okay.
it sounded like every random answer ever.
Good.
Apparently,
I sound like a politician then.
apparently,
I can run for office now.
116 pages of Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs have been leaked online. Shocking. Where do you think that's going to go? I think it's going to be just like the Biden investigation and go nowhere.
Yeah, probably.
Jeff Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, the only people to traffic children to no one.
Right. Absolutely no one.
Absolutely no one. Oh, let's see. Lauren Boebert called this debate tonight the VP debate, which is kind of hilarious. And
Well, okay, so she's way, way behind the curve on that one because, people called the first debate that.
yes.
I mean, she's a politician, so she's probably not very bright.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I originally thought quite a bit more of her than I do now. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, and probably at the time that all of this happened, she probably was in the back of a movie theater with her hand down some guy's pants. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
This is
was
just
busy.
this is just a first date. Oh, all right.
She does also date guys named Simin. So
Senator John Kennedy asked a question to Mayorkas, asked if they've vetted all of the 8 million people who have crossed our southern border, since Biden has been elected. So just, 8 million of them.
and Mayorkas with his creepy hairdo said, "The border is secure."
uh,
Lauren Boebert. Jim, you're on fire tonight, my man.
And just so that a certain readers here, I almost quoted one Ms. Lamplighter because I saw one of her quotes. So just letting you know, she's out tweeting tonight.
I don't know who that is.
You don't. She's their fellow Hugo nominees.
Okay. So you're saying Ms. Lamplighter is Chuck Tingle's
No.
real name? Pen name.
No.
It's his Twitter handle.
Yep.
See, now I've started a vicious rumor about Chuck Tingle.
Yes, Justin Trudeau. Canadians are afraid of climate change. Canadians, I work 3 jobs and can't pay my mortgage. Sounds like as bad as we've got it, Canada's way farther down the road than we are. All right. Well, that's all the Conversation Street I think we have for tonight.
Is it?
Yes, it is. You have anything
Okay,
else?
what would you like me to do now?
Well, you probably need to get some rest at some point. So we should.
I guess it is 8:42, isn't it?
So it's probably a decent time to say, on that note.
Well, you know you have all the things that make those noises go. So before you said it, you could have hit the music.
Yeah.
And yet you did not. There you go.
Well, I hit the arrow instead of the I. All right. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us to Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. I'm your host, John Wilder, and I'll be back next week.
Just you alone.
You'll be back too.
I've been crushed by a box stacking robot.
Well, man, who knows? If you're not a box, you might be a box. You might be a box, you know.
I'll come back now. You hear?